Today I'm going to show you one of the most important guitar exercises I've ever done. This exercise is very simple, very efficient, and will allow you a lot of freedom. Now, I've been using it for years. I've been doing different variations of that, and I have been teaching that also to students that had great success with it. Now, I'm from Haifa, Israel, and when I grew up there and started playing guitar, there was this guy that played way better than me, and I had a chance to hang with him and kind of ask him like what's going on and how is he so good. And one of the things he showed me was this simple exercise. When you come to think about it, it's pretty simple. We have 4 fingers and the different variations. So getting comfortable moving between those different variations is super important. And of course, there is the pick and the fingers. So the first basic one is this. Now, even if you know it, I really suggest that you check it out because there are a few important points that a lot of people kind of not really pay attention to, and then they don't really do that well. So check it out. The first one is very simple, is that sound of the chromatic scale. Chroma means color, and I'm just playing 4 consecutive notes on the board. Nothing too crazy. Now, we have to pay attention to the right and left hand. So this is kind of creating this link, and it needs to be really tight and very strong. So the link is down, up, but I need to teach my finger, teach my brain, teach my system, if you will, where things are. When I'm doing this, I'm trying to create a very clear image of where the strings are in relationship to my picking hand. I don't want to look. I want my system to really learn where it is. So I'm doing it slow enough, consistent enough, and when I'm changing strings, I really want to know where it is. So the trick here is to be super precise and super balanced with the notes themselves. You can just take, 4 notes even, just these 4. And try to play these balanced. It could be very soft, or it could be louder. But it's very crucial to check out all the points so you can really make it happen. The next step is variation, right? So this is just sort of like very easy motion, just sort of like a forward motion, this kind of, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nothing crazy. Now, it starts getting a little bit more interesting when we start doing variations. One of the variations, I'm just gonna choose 1, 3, 2, 4, okay? And I'm gonna still use alternate picking down, up, which we'll talk about it later. All of a sudden with this variation, I find myself in a place that I'm using my weaker fingers and I need to strengthen them. Now, the different variation will highlight different weak fingers, if it's the 4th, the 3rd, or sometimes the 2nd for people. This video is a 10-day mini technique challenge. Please drop a comment with the date and BPM number that you start to do these exercises. You can use this groove down below or a metronome. Let me know, drop a comment, and let's do this. Usually it's the 3rd and the 4th, but basically by doing this even, I need to make this combination of 2 and 4 really happen. Now, when you're playing, when you're soloing, scales, variation, permutation, all these things, when you're soloing real time, when I'm playing lines and ideas, I don't really want to think about the fingers, and I want to make sure that I can control the different variations and permutations. So as a step 2 for this idea, I really want to start finding permutations. If you want to get the most out of this lesson, there is a note-to-note transcription of all this video. Check it out. Step 3, what I'll do is take one of the permutation and start moving it up the board and down the board. If you're feeling out this video, please click, smash, pluck the like button. Thank you. For clarity, I'm going to use the one we did before, so 1, 3, 2, 4. I'll go ascending up this shape, and then I'm going to shift to here, 1, 3, 2, 4, and then I'm gonna ascend another half step, etc. Now, this kind of, again, creates these kind of tongue twisters, if you will, musically speaking, and the different variation will get your fingers stronger. Now, of course, for each one of us, we'll find different things harder and easier. I would highly suggest doing this in time with the metronome or with the groove. I realize we can also jump 2 strings. These things things are not easy to do, but they teach us a lot about the link between the right and left hand that oftentimes when you start playing guitar, it's not really easy. I know it's a process, but bear with me because this will really help. And all you need to practice this is about 10 minutes a day, and this will make a huge difference in your playing. Until now, a lot of people know this stuff. But for me, one of the biggest realization is understanding that we can look at this shape and take parts of it. And this was kind of like a huge aha moment for me. So I said, okay, so what is the actual motion that we're doing when we're playing this? Okay, so I can just take two notes, so these two notes. So I can just take this kind of shape of two notes, which would be this. So right now, I'm taking a two-note shape per string and I'm playing alternate picking, which is closer in a way to music, because when we play solos, this was just a scale with two-note shape scale, and when we actually solo, a lot of these shapes are actually two-note per string shapes because they're connected to pentatonic, scales, all these things. So getting comfortable with these shapes for me was a huge deal. So let me show you the process for that. There are two ways we can look at this. First one is alternate picking. Great. Getting the motion and then trying it with different options over these strings. Again, still alternate picking. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Just shape. Now I would try the different variations of those, for example. And of course, we'd do that with time. Just alternate picking. And trying to be balanced. Now, this opened up a whole world for me because I realized I don't have to only do alternate picking. I don't have to do down up strokes or up down, which would be something that I also practice, but this is for later. I realized that I can actually use legato, which is hammer on and pull off. So these shapes, these ideas, whether it's the 4-note or the 2-note, I can actually use hammer on and pull up, which will allow me way more speed. Check it out. I can go on and do different variations and permutations and some subdivision, but the point is that this idea of the hammer on and pull off would allow us a lot of freedom. The same idea that we started talking about the chromatic ideas and the sounds, the same way with alternate picking, the same way with legato and hammer on and pull off, just trying to find variations. So I can do 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4. I can kind of open the strings and I can do these two, which are way weaker. So I'll spend time trying to do that, spend time trying to do that with a different string, different points around the board. You can get creative and find more ideas. At the end of the day, we can take the first, or actually second permutation that we did, 1, 3, 1, 4, and do down, hammer, down, hammer, down, hammer, down, hammer. Which is a very pleasing sound for me. Key points you want to keep in mind when you're practicing these ideas. So first, you want to be as consistent as possible, right? So the sound needs to be as balanced as possible. Really pay attention. You can try and do it very soft, very loud, or something in between. Or a little louder. Mezzo forte, pianissimo, fortissimo. All these ideas mean that you can control the sound. The same way we talk, I can speak softer. Or I can shout. All these ideas mean a lot when you talk about music. Creating these dynamic ranges really help. When you're practicing this, use a metronome, a click, or a groove. It will help a lot. The idea of locking into a subdivision and feeling it is very important. And you can also track your progression. You can start with 80 BPM, and tomorrow you do 82, and you can keep a track record of that information. Number 3, don't spend too much time on that. This is technical and this is important to create facility, but I would not cross the 15 minutes or 20 minutes max. So between 5 and 20 minutes on these exercises is plenty. There's a lot of stuff to do in music. If you have 12 hours to play and practice a day, you can spend a little more time on that, but honestly, don't go crazy. 10 minutes, 15 minutes is really sufficient for this work. That's it. Thank you so much. I'll see you very soon. Peace out.